on the first 3 rows to have gone for that hard option Michelin front tyre. Everybody else behind them, Pedrosa, Marquez, Laverty, Redding, Iannone and Lorenzo are on the soft blend of tyre combinations in this race, and that you feel is going to be the deciding factor, the crucial aspect of this 20-lap battle that's about to unfold.
Oh, it does look a little bit threatening, but it shouldn't be a problem at all. Conditions seem to remain exactly the same. Temperature, not the highest, but you know what? Great conditions to go racing in.
Yeah, 18 to Dylan.
Yes, they are. Well, at the moment, they've obviously got their second bike set up for the dry, just in case there's a problem.
3,900, and it's been pouring with rain yesterday. It poured with rain all night, and that is a really decent books. No British rider has ever won the Premier Class race at his home Grand Prix. Not even the late great.
A bit so both going for that soft front, soft rear combination. We'll see how it all pans out. Of course, Marc Marquez in control of the world. Jorge Lorenzo, who's made the right decision. Such an interesting combination of tyres throughout this field. It's going to be apt.
So the red flag being shown. This is the second row of the grid. The 2 Repsol Hondas. Danny Pedrosa in the centre there. The championship leader Marc Marquez alongside him. Tino Rossi completing the front row. The Suzuki of Maverick Vinales. Round 12 for the MotoGP World Champ.
Through Copse Corner. Valentino Rossi, race winner here at Silverstone 1 year ago. He leads the way from Cal Crutchlow. Vinales tries to fight back, and it's the Suzuki. We might have this race. Red flag very early on.
We'll keep an eye on the red flag situation. Maverick Vinales rides down towards the Stoke Corner, and it's the Suzuki of Maverick Vinales, the 21-year-old Spaniard, former Moto3 winner here, who's racing away at the start.
Look at Eugene Laverty. Rossi, can he fight back? No, he can't. Laverty second.
Eugene Laverty coming up to the
red flag, Nick.
Red flag is out. Yeah. Race has been stopped.
It was in 16th place, so as we thought, it was definitely Pol Espargaro, and it was one of the Vinci Ducatis, I'm sure. Hector Barber's out there. It's Loris Baz. I think it was an incident with damage and debris strewn across the circuit. We hope that Pol Espargaro and Loris Baz are perfectly okay. Turn number 1, it's a little bit,
I think it was just a bit beyond turn 1. Was it at Copse or a little bit further down?
Yeah, I think it was actually, there's Pol Espargaro. Yeah, we thought it was definitely one of the Tech 3 Yamaha rides. I think it was going into Mag.
But perhaps not such good news with one of the riders lying on the track at the moment. We will keep you right up to date. If you've just tuned in, Spaz, we're pretty certain Alex Lowe's and Pol Espargaro.
Yeah, it's Pol Espargaro and Loris Baz. They were the 2 riders involved. It was at turn number 2. That rear, well, this was the start. Tell you what, Crutchlow and Rossi got away well, but Vinales got brilliant driving. He's got track position on the inside there on that run down into Maggots. Let's have a look. What happened there was it looked like Loris Baz. I think it was one of the Pramac Ducatis. It might have been.
Have another look.
I think it looked like Loris Baz was just about, look at that, that's a fast crash. We've seen Pol Espargaro going away on the stretcher. Treatment ongoing for the French rider Loris Baz. I'm not sure actually if it might have to go. We've got a new race distance. The race will be restarted 1 lap shorter than the scheduled original distance of 20 laps. So as soon as we got information on a well,
obviously the most important thing is that the condition of Loris Baz is receiving treatment there. The track also has to be cleared of a lot of debris, but didn't they? And as you so rightly said, Matt, some terrific stuff at the back of the field there. A Rabat, I think it was Bradley, I saw both of them avoiding action. Tires to use. At last, all the adrenaline pours out of them as they race into Copse Corner. They're just settling into the rhythm, and then the red flag comes out.
Whether they say, actually, do you know what, maybe I did make the wrong choice. I'll try and do the rounds to see if we do have any.
Yeah. Maverick Vinales looks pretty philosophical about what happened. He was getting away. That crash at Maggots Curve, turn 2 at Silverstone. The track from these very, very good marshals here at Silverstone, getting a good when the race will get underway. They obviously, until Loris Baz is transported away, until the track is cleaned up, they can't restart the race at the moment.
There's Valentino Rossi. He got a good launch off the line at Rossi. So did Cal Crutchlow, and it was Rossi that did, despite that big, to take the lead. Oh, look at that there at the bottom corner of your screen. Danny, was it Marc Marquez and Scott Redding? Yeah, that was a big moment there as well between Marc rear tyre. Big moment there for the former world champion.
It's coming into Copse Corner. There's a fairly big bump of a restart. The lap, it will be 19 laps.
Let's watch Marc Marquez in the centre. He's pitching it because it looks like he had a real close call with Scott line through Copse, and as he moved across, Well, there was just Scott Redding and Marc Marquez going for the same piece of tarmac. We're going to get a great onboard shot here from Jorge Lorenzo. Here's Marquez.
Near the front of the pack as well. Then we're going to have a look at it again. There is Redding, there is Marquez.
I mean, it was Marc Marquez that made the... we're going to get all angles of this. Brilliant onboard from Valentino Rossi. Brilliant onboard from Jorge Lorenzo as well, giving you perfect images of what happened in that moment between Scott Redding, the red flags on the very first lap.
News coming from the medical centre. Loris Baz is conscious, currently undergoing.
Looking on pretty anxiously there. Of course, that's not only making sure that Loris Baz is well-being and that he's okay and can be safe, will need to be cleaned up as well for the restart.
I wonder if there's any news on Pol Espargaro. He was taken off on the stretcher. Dry mouth, concentrate.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that. That just sums it up, doesn't it?
It's got to be tough, hasn't it, when you've seen Alex Espargaro. He's got to pick himself up mentally to get back out there. Oh, that's great to see. Brilliant there from Loris Baz, just waving to the fans. I'm sure he has only, of course, just returned to anything like close to full fitness after a crash at the first corner in Mugello that involved this young man Jack Miller and Alvaro Banco. The rapid response
was amazing. Yeah, Jack Miller's had an up and down weekend as well. One big crash yesterday. That's exactly what he is doing.
Talking about riders thinking things out, we understand that Stefan Bradl is the only rider who is out here. We do know it's going to be a quick restart procedure.
Rightio, and 19 laps, so the race will be one shorter. And as you can see, so maybe if there's some sort of track inspection just to see that's okay. But pit lane open at 15:04. Get underway pretty soon after that.
And if you're not familiar with the quick restart procedure, of course, introduced for the first time this year, it means the riders will go out for a sight for a 19-lap British Grand Prix.
Well, I've been pretty patient, the crowd. They've been richly entertained with Moto 2 and a Moto.
Information on whether Pol Espargaro is going to be fit enough to make this restart, or will he be missing from the grid?
None at the moment. I'll try and keep you guys posted.
The World Championship was at the TT races in the Isle of Man. There you go. They're following Bertie's, and some of the teams had not read the instructions, and it turned into, well,
bit of a mess.
Bit of a mess. And I think now possible. So it's got to happen all over again. Pit lane will be opened. We saw the accident and so much debris across the track, apart from anything else, that the race was going to have to be stopped.
Because I was just speaking with the team, so Pol Espargaro is still not back.
Dylan, just as well about the tyres and the restart. I mean, of course, these riders, they only did half a lap at full racing speed before the red flag came out. And they haven't used a lot of slick tyres this weekend. So has anybody...
That no one's actually changed. We saw a few little swaps going on, but do you know what? With the few laps that they've done, it doesn't look like anyone has actually put the in when they're going out to see if I see anything completely fresh.
We ride with Cal Crutchlow at the start that has been aborted because of a queue.
Pretty brave by Vinales, wasn't it, to sweep up the inside of Crutchlow and Rossi. There was room there and he made it stick to Cal Crutchlow. Have to do it all over again. Wasn't a bad launch off the line for Crutchlow. It's just that Rossi and Vinales just had that inside
music, as he does, getting into the zone.
I mean, sometimes as crazy as this sounds, pole position at Silverstone might not be one of the better pole positions to have, because you are risky to just sweep across the nose of the two riders that have qualified in second and third. Perfect illustration of it there is Vinales on that inside line, which is able to sweep up the inside of the two men who Crutchlow and Rossi though sweep through. But Vinales has got the inside line. He's got brilliant drive as well to hold it. Espargaro went down very heavily, but thankfully it seems that both are okay, and we will be underway very, very shortly here at Silverstone. The pit lane will be open in just
a lap, like 19 laps. Round 12 of the championship will get underway. Marc Marquez in deep concentration leads that championship by 50 incident for him at the race start between him and Scott Redding. And we're having a look at this at every angle.
Marc Marquez and Scott Redding. Redding had just started to move across to his right. Marc Marquez had made a pretty big move to his left. Here we go, perfect on board this is. There we go, between the two. Marc Marquez was probably the more fortunate of the two to stay on though, because he got a real whack on that front tyre.
So here we go, pit lane will open it by one up. It just tuned in. The race was stopped halfway through the first lap after a crash involving Pol Espargaro and Loris Baz at turn 2. Loris Baz on the stretcher but waving to the crowd and conscious, so it doesn't look like it's a really serious incident, which is the most important.
Yeah, Matt, you asked earlier about does anyone have completely fresh rubber on? The only ones I could see is it looked like Marquez had a new front on there, and Valentino Rossi definitely has both other tyres new. I make the difference in the end.
Here's Valentino Rossi. Anybody who saw him win the race here last year was a masterclass of wet weather riding. That is the new procedure to speed things along.
And it might be obvious for you guys, but just to confirm, so Pol Espargaro didn't get back to the box, so he won't be riding.
19 riders for 19 laps then in this British Grand Prix. The race distance reduced by 1 lap after that red flag. Here we are then for the quick restart procedure, as we told you. Only one mechanic. So Rossi, Viñales front row, Pedrosa, Marquez, Lafferty second row, Redding, Iannone, Lorenzo third row, Dovizioso, Espargaro, that's Aleix from Bradle and Hector Barbara, and Alvaro Bautista, Yoni Hernandez, who led the way in the wet warm-up, and Tito Rabat, former Moto2 winner here. Crutchlow in pole position, Eugene Lafferty absolutely flying in that first half lap of the race before it was red flagged round, second time round. Well, Eugene Lafferty did exactly what he needed to do, because on that soft front tyre and soft rear tyre, he's going to have, you'd think, and have Valentino Rossi with a brave move down at the Vale chicane before the red flag came out. So Eugene Lafferty again will be looking to make the repeat of that start as the
10 laps, completely new race. Round 12 of the MotoGP World Championship here at Silverstone.
Did decide to throw in a completely new set of hard option front Michelin tyre, new Michelin rear tyre.
Maverick Viñales is behind him, look. Great helicopter shot. This is coming down towards the Stoke corner, the far end of, since it returned in 2010 it is. Let's just have a look at those temperatures. 19 degrees, actually a little bit, well, 18 both the same, track and air. And that wind.
So Cal Crutchlow then, for the second time of asking, will start the British Grand Prix from pole position.
Can he claim 2 pole positions for that?
I bet you.
We ride with Marc Marquez. Don't rule him out in any way in this race, Marc Marquez. He's had a crashed out here last year in the rain, and he crashed out yesterday, and exactly, it was a carbon copy crash with the weather and where he went down. Brilliant evasive action by him when Pol Espargaro and Loris Baz came back across the track in the crash. They're through love pulling back some decent points advantage on the championship leader. Front row lines up. Red flag shown again. Valentino after half a lap when the red flag went out. Second time around. Green flag being shown. 19 laps this time round.
I'm asking, not such a good start for Maverick Viñales this time around. It's Crutchlow then that leads the British Grand Prix. Dani Pedrosa got away well from 4th place as well. He's putting pressure on Maverick Viñales.
Right up behind Valentino Rossi, but Crutchlow, to the delight of the crowd, comes onto the hanger straight, leading the way. There is Jorge Lorenzo. Here comes Maverick Viñales also. Crutchlow holds firm just.
Viñales gets through on Valentino Rossi. So Scott Redding, Dani Pedrosa and Jorge Lorenzo on the run down to the Vale chicane. Brilliant by the Italian.
Remember the overtake?
Oh yeah, bit of disservice there to Maverick Viñales. Thought it was Rossi that was sweeping through. So Viñales, just as he did last time out in the initial start, leads the British Grand Prix on the opening lap. There he is into 5th place. Dani Pedrosa 6th, Scott Redding 7th.
Wow, that was aggressive stuff from Marc Marquez. Down the brook to come up to Lovefield and Woodcut. 19 laps. There will be 18 left when they cross the line.
I'm still trying to understand how Andrea Iannone got that Ducati stop. Kes Rossi got pushed back to 4th. Iannone, Pedrosa, Redding, Lorenzo, Dovizioso and Aleix Espargaro. That's your top 10.
Yeah, a little bit further down we have Jack Miller, Eugene.
But he hasn't been able to capitalise on those soft option rear tyres second time around. He was second, of course, before the red flags came out earlier on. A lead of over 4/10 of a second. Crutchlow under pressure from Marquez. Marquez is through. Can Rossi also find a way through? Marquez second.
Yeah, Marquez into second. Up the inside of Marquez. He can't find a way through as they come onto the international pit straight.
Marquez just too late on the brakes going into Vale at the moment. Viñales, though, is doing a really good job at the front of this field. He's stretching them away. Marc Marquez is desperately trying to hang in there. The gap between Viñales and Marquez already up to the
up on these all the time. But Maverick Viñales on the Suzuki, chasing his first ever Grand Prix win, is, well, getting away.
Down Brooklands, turn number 16. He didn't leave the door open ajar enough for Andrea Iannone to sweep through. Iannone still in 5th place ahead of Dani Pedrosa. Here comes Mark Marquez. Vinales, fastest lap of the race, a 2:02.339, half a second faster on lap 2 than Mark Marquez.
We ride with the Randy Mamola in 1983.
2007, 9 years ago since Chris Vermeulen in the Australian straight. Yeah, Stefan Bradl was the faller. We just saw some marshals running there, a crash at turn 3 for the German rider. But Maverick Vinales is checking out on the Suzuki.
I mean, down he goes on the Aprilia. He's great cloud spot. Just clipped the curb.
He's clipped the back of Eugene Laverty. That's what's happened there. He's got in too hot and it's pushed Eugene Laverty. At turn number 8, Scott Redding was running in 9th place.
Scott Redding. Looks like we're trying to restart the bike, but it looks like there's only one man in it at the moment. They come down to Brooklands. There is Maverick Vinales, then Mark Marquez. Cal Crutchlow still in 3rd place. Rossi Vizioso behind him. Yeah. The gap now 1.3 seconds for Maverick Vinales.
Crutchlow, Rossi, Iannone and Pedrosa, they've all just put in personal best laps of the race.
We ride with Mark Marquez. He hasn't been at the Breville complex and onto the hangar straight.
Crutchlow and Rossi have got to get through on Mark Marquez, because Maverick Vinales, Crutchlow and Rossi have got the same tyre combination as the Suzuki man, but Crutchlow and Rossi again, they just can't find a way through Marquez with that soft option front tyre.
We ride with Mark Marquez. Here comes Cal Crutchlow through Vale up the back straight, or the international pit straight. This is where the Formula 1 cars start their race stop, and up towards Abbey. And already Maverick
Vinales has been able to stretch out another half a second. The likes of Crutchlow, Rossi and Iannone are being held up here by Mark Marquez. They've got to find a way. Such a demon on the brakes, they just can't find a way through to make a pass safely.
This is where they might try. We ride with Valentino Rossi. That's Crutchlow in front of her. They're not
coming out of the Aintree corner onto the Wellington straight. We're on board with the race leader, the Spanish rider, the 21-year-old Maverick Vinales. He can't.
Yeah. First Grand Prix victory, I won't say in the reckoning for him. It's a long, long way to go in the Premier class. He's a former Moto3 winner. He joins Valentino Rossi at Yamaha next season. They're trying all they can, Crutchlow and Rossi, to get through on Marquez, but he is just not giving them. They try everything to get through, but they haven't got the pace to get past him.
Iannone and Pedrosa hanging in there in this battle for 2nd place.
What about Alex Lowe? Still going extremely well, because it's Petrucci in 11th. 12th is Hernandez, Bautista 3rd.
He's only got Scott running behind him, who's crashed out of the race. Is Crutchlow close enough this time? Rossi though finds a way through. Great move by Rossi. Crutchlow leans on him. Can Rossi distance here that he won't be able to claw back?
Yeah, he wants to get past Cal Crutchlow. Crutchlow wants to try and get past Marquez. Pretty aggressive stuff from both riders. Lowe can do.
Yeah, because Marquez was actually starting to pull away from Crutchlow in 2nd. So Rossi deciding that the time was right, he had to go. He tried it at Village, didn't quite. Rossi's half a second behind Marquez, 2.6 seconds back of Maverick Vinales. 14 laps, still plenty of time for Rossi to eke his way back into contention.
And Maverick Vinales, amazing ride by the 21-year-old at the front. He's looked good all weekend.
I wonder if that means that Rossi is charging. Rossi's through on Mark Marquez down at the Stowe corner. Valentino Rossi's got heat in that hard option front tyre. Then Rossi up to 2nd, so up to 5th.
This is going to be a very interesting 2 or 3 laps. Has Valentino Rossi got any chance of repeating his victory of last season? Keep looking right behind him. He knows he can't make any sort of mistake, and he knows if Marquez gets through on him, it will impede him, and it will just allow
the gap between Vinales and Rossi through the 3rd section is 2.4 seconds with 13 laps and 3 corners of this British Grand Prix remaining.
They're coming into Woodcote. When they cross the line, there will be 13 laps to go. They cross the line now. Well, Maverick Vinales corner, the gap 2.5 seconds, but Rossi is starting to open a little bit of advantage now over Mark Marquez. These next few laps are going to end.
Yeah, Maverick Vinales, even though Valentino Rossi put in his personal best lap of the race with a 2:02.745, looked like a later Spargo.
Entry corner for Scott Redding.
This was his first crash. Superman leathers haven't been able to catapult him to a decent result on home soil. Pramac Ducati look on. Yeah, Rossi is.
We ride with a 21-year-old Spaniard, former Moto3 world champion, 1 season in Moto2, then joining Suzuki. Probably regarded end of the season. Davide Brivio, who we spoke to on the grid, team manager of Suzuki. looks nervous.
He was trying to downplay slick tyres, and these are these cool conditions where the Suzuki does thrive. It's in the hotter ambient temperatures, the hotter track conditions where the Suzuki really struggles for rig.
2.8 seconds now he leads away, and I tell you, Marquez is closing up on Rossi all the time. Rossi's not been able to get away. We're looking
Put in a personal best lap of the race. He was a fraction faster than Valentino Rossi. You think Vinales and Rossi with that hard option front, medium option rear, off Crutchlow, Pedrosa and Iannone at the moment.
Yeah, Iannone, after looking so fierce and taking two riders going into club corner, really has.
As well as Dovizioso behind are on that softer option rear tyre, the front four on the medium, and considering what Iannone did in Austria last time out, just conserving.
Lorenzo running in 8th place, and Alessio Spargaro on the second of the Suzukis in 9th. Then it's Petrucci 10, Miller 11, Hernandez 12, Bautista
6 successive race without a victory for Jorge Lorenzo. His championship challenges fading very fast, with Marc Marquez again in the podium places. Full sector now where the Honda's been working well all weekend. This is where Marquez should be able to close down a little bit on Valentino Rossi. Maverick Vinales, you can see in the top left-hand pick, and Crutchlow setting their personal best laps last time around, but Valentino Rossi holding firm in second place. But Maverick Vinales is running up.
Switch now back to Marquez. Well, just coming under a little bit of pressure from Cal Crutchlow. Left, right, left, right.
Looked like he briefly got ahead of Marc Marquez there, but Marquez just held firm.
Way through the first lap following the accident of Paul Espargaro and Loris Baz. They come onto the international pit straight, and he's got about
kind of after just 1 year in the Moto2 World Championship. This is why Yamaha have signed Maverick Vinales to replace Jorge Lorenzo next year. On board with Dani Pedrosa, who's locked in the dot in the distance, going down the Wellington Straight, the Spanish rider.
Back to the battle for second place, because it's great for the championship. But he wants to beat him, doesn't he? He wants to beat him desperately. And I'm afraid, whatever the team is, all the way to the end, I promise you.
3 seconds, the gap now between Vinales and Rossi. So Vinales 3 seconds up for the first time in this race. It's a great battle. A fight to third.
Brilliant stuff from Crutchlow. Mistake, well, don't about a mistake from Marquez. I don't think there was an awful lot he could do about it. They come down 9.5 laps ago. That can change dramatically. Here comes Andrea Iannone up the inside of Dani Pedrosa. Pushes him wide. Iannone surely he's got the inside line.
Yeah, there's a 4-second start, and normally in MotoGP you can't do that at this level. Vinales has long gone into the distance, so Iannone up into 5th. Acceleration problems. Yeah, he's squeezing the power on there, and he just rear tyre spinning up, lost all momentum down into Magnus, and Cal Crutchlow was able to sweep quite easily through.
Battle still continuing for second place. A 3-second advantage now. But onto the Wellington Straight they come. Really got to start saying that now. That last Suzuki win, 2007, Chris Vermeulen.
Yeah,
is it at Le Mans?
Yeah, in the wet, yeah. Success is Crutchlow up the inside of Rossi there, down into Cop's corner.
Very hard indeed, not quite into Cop's corner. Marquez fighting back, Iannone on the rear wheel of Marquez.
Real problems with rear grip coming out of the Cop's corner, because that's the second lap in a row now that he's lost position. Crutchlow last time around, this time around it was Andrea Iannone.
9 points off him if this remains the same, with Valentino Rossi staying in second place. And of course Maverick Vinales also winning.
He's really threatening there in 4th place. He's closing up on Cal Crutchlow as they sweep through the club corner. Look at the corner speed that Iannone can
do, and it reminds me of Cal Crutchlow and Bruno, the way he's finding that grip.
So Iannone then up into the podium place. He's next in his sights from board with Andrea Iannone, looking back at Bruno winner Cal Crutchlow. The way that Iannone signed his way through on Marquez and Cal Crutchlow on this.
Well, yeah, if you look, it's only Vinales and Iannone that are in the 2.02s. I think now we've seen this big drop-off that they've said, because they've all of a sudden now almost everyone dropped into.
And it was clear to see on the timesheets on Friday afternoon. So Iannone up the inside of Valentino Rossi. He's making this look easy. Andrea Iannone in a lap and a half.
With just under 8 laps ago, can he make any impression on Maverick Vinales at the front?
Well, he needs to be lapping half a second a lap faster then, doesn't he? And
is it absolutely side by side? 320 kilometres an hour. What a great shot, and Rossi's going to outbrake him into Stowe, and he's done it.
What I feel he is through. This is a great fight for second place. And of course, while they're tripping each other up, Maverick Vinales is just eking away at the front. He does lead now by
to Valentino Rossi. We thought Andrea Iannone was going to disappear into the distance. Rossi had other thoughts, but Iannone would come back. Marquez and Pedrosa joining in the fun. This is mayhem. What a battle for second place as they come onto that Wellington straight.
Yeah, it looked like Crutchlow with that hard up hit. Dovizioso's come right back into this battle for second place as well. He's just at the back of this group in 7th place. Dovizioso, don't rule him out of this
Gap of 4.8 seconds, but I don't think we're too worried about that as Iannone gets back up the inside of Valentino Rossi at Copse Corner. Crutchlow trying to run.
Race in MotoGP, fantastic action. Maverick Vinales again was half a second quicker than this chasing group. 4.8 seconds the breakaway from Rossi, Crutchlow, Marquez, Pedrosa and Dovizioso. Surely it's too late to hunt down Maverick Vinales. Here we go,
Free practice 4 in a big 4. As Cal Crutchlow obviously wants to finish on the podium. We ride with Maverick Vinales. He's a world champion in Moto 3. Had some Moto 2 wins as well, but immediately snatched up by Suzuki to make an early MotoGP debut. Marquez now up into 4th place, Rossi 3rd, and in 2nd place Andrea Iannone, and he hasn't been able to break away from Valentino.
Marquez is through on Crutchlow. You can see there Aleix Espargaro will be penalised with a 1-second penalty at the end of the race. I thought I saw a Suzuki running off at Maggots a little bit early on in the race, so it went Crutchlow, brave in the extreme. Brilliant move by Crutchlow to take that 4th place back from Marquez. Marquez getting a bit of a taste of his own medicine. Brilliant moves on Marquez and Valentino Rossi in the space of 3 corners. Cal Crutchlow then back in the podium places in his home Grand Prix.
8 kilometres an hour, Rossi sniffs up the inside and then says, no, if I got up the inside there, take both of them out into the gravel at Stoke Corner.
Andrea Dovizioso just can't quite get in that hunt for the podium right now. There is Maverick Vinales going through the Abbey curve.
We saw Iannone go down there yesterday in a fairly big crash. Slowest part of the circuit, the loop, and then the village corner.
And these two have had some battle royales down the years.
He's not going to be happy about that. This is personal. We ride with Rossi. I tell you, he's going to get up the inside of Brooklands. He's going to...
Andrea Iannone's crashed out of 2nd place. He's down at the Luffield corner. Iannone out of 2nd place. So this is now a battle for 3rd in the race. There is Andrea Iannone. Well,
corner they come. They have taken their gloves off, these two, as they have done on many, many times before. Oh, Marquez thought about getting up there.
Come back on in front of Danny Pedrosa and Andrea Dovizioso. He knew he couldn't come back on track in front of Valentino Rossi.
So that has he's just got to run it on.
That's a classic case of impatience and over-exuberance from Marquez. Look,
off into the boondocks, into the country.
Marquez is right back on Valentino Rossi. He's going to have a look up the inside at the Abbey corner. Can he make it stick? No, he can't.
Rossi, and is he going to hold firm? No, Rossi comes back at him, side by side, and Rossi back through. Marquez finds better motorcycle racing. You never see better motorsport than this in the world.
Wheel to wheel, elbow to elbow between Marquez and Valentino Rossi here at the British Grand Prix. Fans, the 75,000 fans packed into Silverstone, captivated by this titanic battle between Marquez and Rossi for 3rd.
And Danny Pedrosa now joining in the Vinales, isn't it?
Well, the Rossi-Marquez scrap is doing 2 things. They're carving each other up so much, it's given Cal Crutchlow the chance to break away in 2nd, and it's bought Pedrosa and Dovizioso.
In the World Championship, if these positions remain the same, I can promise you these positions will not remain the same in the next 3.5.
For 3rd place, as we said, it's given Cal Crutchlow the chance to break away from Marquez in 3rd place. Crutchlow's a 2nd ahead now.
Right, here is Scott Redding.
He hasn't had another crash.
It's not going to be the 3rd crash for poor old Scott Redding, is it? Right, back to the battle for 3rd place. Crutchlow 2 weeks ago, and now running in 2nd place.
It does look like Marquez has got the pace to get away from Rossi. A face full of Marquez. Absolutely brilliant action. Power on coming out of Brooklands. That's going to give Marquez heart in this battle for 2nd place. Crutchlow just asking for the power a little bit too early. He was thrown out of the seat, gathered it all back.
Crutchlow, 3 laps ago, tips it into Copse Corner. The advantage at the front for Maverick Vinales, 4.6 seconds.
Got it. He's broken Rossi, no doubt about that. Marc Marquez is winning this personal duel for third place. Now it's all about hunting down Cal Crutchlow. You can forget it for the first time since 2007. Chris Froome at Le Mans. If Maverick Vinales can keep his composure, he's been the top gun to watch.
Because Davide Privia was the man that instigated Rossi's move from Honda to Yamaha and masterminded success at Yamaha, wasn't it? Big curb.
This was the moment that he had coming through Brooklands on the last lap. He's just, yeah, look at that for Crutchlow. That was a big moment for Cal. And that's brought Mark place from Cal Crutchlow. Has Crutchlow got anything to respond?
Oh, he clinically passed him, wasn't it? Very clean indeed. But here comes Crutchlow. Absolutely started, but Marquez makes it stick. So Marquez now second, Crutchlow third into Woodcote corner. There will be 2 laps to go.
And I think Marquez can't turn in because Cal Crutchlow's right there on the LCR Honda rider. What a battle we've seen for second place. Ragesby winning for the second year in a row here at Silverstone.
They come through the last part of the complex through the Chapel curve onto the hanger straight. Good drive out of here. Both of them on Honda slope.
Oh, he's in way too hot. He's in way too hot. Marquez has gone off the track. That's going to cost him the podium. It's podium over surely for Marquez. He got it all in. Way backfired.
Here they are at Stoke Corner. He's just too far. He nearly hit Cal Crutchlow.
That's why, yeah, it was nearly elbow to elbow, and all he's doing.
Full marks to this man. Maverick Vinales, what a ride on the Suzuki, but a fiercer battle as we've seen all season for second place.
Really in action.
Settling for the points.
This has been Marc Marquez in all-out attack mode right from the get-go here. It's been absolutely sensational to watch, the number 9.
He just doesn't know the meaning of the word, does he? Take it carefully, just pick up the World Championship points. We thought he did, but he doesn't.
Will be kicking himself. Maverick Vinales then on the final lap. History beckons for the Suzuki rider. What a year it's been for the MotoGP. And different winners we're about to be seeing with Maverick Vinales at the front. We could have 4 first-time winners in the last 5 Grand Prix here in MotoGP. His girlfriend cannot watch.
She's given up watching.
Yeah.
She's just looking through her fingers, isn't she?
She's got no fingernails left, that's for sure.
Down at Club Court, the girlfriend is just hoping and praying. He's got half a lap to go here at Silverstone. He's into the Abbey curve.
A second successive podium. He's had some real miserable moments on home soil in the British Grand Prix as Cal Crutchlow, but he's putting all those behind him as Maverick Vinales. 2007, he comes down the Wellington Straight. The Suzuki fans are in jubilant mood. Maverick Vinales, he's been MotoGP.
Maiden victory. Suzuki's first win since 2007. Maverick Vinales wins here at Silverstone.
4th place, what a ride by the Spaniard. He was all action throughout that 19-lap race. Danny Pedrosa 5th, Andrea Dovizioso in 6th place.
9th place, just 9 riders across the line as we stand at the moment. Alvaro Bautista in 10th place.
There's a lace.
15th place, Hector Barbara 14, and in 15th place Tito Rabat and Jack Miller in 16th place. And I think
the MotoGP winner back in 2007. Well, that long run's ended. How many long barren runs are being ended? 9 years. And Cal Crutchlow, he looks almost as happy with that second place as he did with the win in Brno a couple of weeks ago, because that was a brilliant ride by Crutchlow.
For Lucy, brilliant stuff from Crutchlow. Boy, has his season turned on its head after so many disappointments.
With the way he's been performing since he had his first one.
Yeah. I'm sure Rossi is pleased to be on the podium. He will be happy to finish in front of Marc Marquez. We'll close a few pointers from the end between Rossi and Marquez. If you think they like each other, if you think they're not bitter rivals, just watch that footage.
That was just fantastic.
Maverick Moto 3, he could not speak a word of English, and he came to me because I was doing the press conference and I had to write the questions and the answers out for him. Now,
2011 to take a sabbatical for 3 years. Many felt that, well, some felt that they would never come back. Some felt that when they did come back, they set a great double wheelie from Rossi and Crutchlow down the international pitch straight.
Well, they're the 2 men, to be honest, that have children, your grandchildren in years to come. I saw Maverick Vinales win his first MotoGP race because he is going to win an awful lot more.
Marc Marquez comes.
Giving him a round of applause. I'm really glad to hear that, but you're not going to see a fiercer riding performance by anybody in the world than that.
Yeah, that was
absolutely.
Vinales Suzuki back on the top step of the podium. It's been a hard going for the Hamamatsu factory since 2007.
And then knocking over Cal Crutchlow, coming back into Grand Prix racing. It was a sad loss when they dropped out. But here are the two more heroes, Cal Crutchlow and Valentin.
Well, they might have been cold and wet yesterday. They might be a little bit chilly today, but those British fans have seen unbelievable entertainment, and all through it. MotoGP has been the best advert possible for World Championship motorcycle racing. It's been breathtaking action throughout the day, Nick.
That is racing at the highest level. Cal Crutchlow back in, Valentino back in, Valentino Rossi back in. You'd have thought both of them had won.
Lucio Cecchinello, somewhere in there, his wife Lucy, who's dragged herself away from new baby daughter Willow to come and congratulate hubby.
Rossi won the race here last year in the rain. He fought off the massive challenge from Marc Marquez. I think psychologically that's really important for Valentino Rossi about the weather. Then we turned up with a Grand Prix and a rare old smile there from Danny Pedrosa. I tell you what, that was a...
He's been to the front of the field for a long time. Headlines, though, will all be grabbed by that young man there, 21-year-old Spaniard Maverick Vinales, his third MotoGP front row. He's did it from
second podium, isn't it? Yeah.
Two after just 1 year. This is why Yamaha have got all confidence in him to take the seat of Jorge Lorenzo.
But they've done it. Suzuki are back. Ducati were back 2 races ago. It is what's a
Premier class in the last 5 races. 7 winners now in 2016. That's the most we've had since 2006. And the start of the 2000 season. 2006 was the last time we had 6 different winners. How could I forget Maverick Vinales winning that? So 7
in Cal Crutchlow exchange a few pleasantries and a few stories about things that had gone on in the race.
Well, they swapped a bit of paint at time.
Don't you look at it? They're kids, aren't they, on BMX bikes? But these are 250 mile an hour who came out on top.
Maverick Vinales will enjoy watching all this back later on when he watches the replay. Oh, there was some absolutely won a fair few races at Yamaha when they were together, didn't they, back in the day?
He just whispered in his ear, though, you're not going to win any next year when you're my teammate.
An easy one at the end there, some great battles with Mark and Cal. Tell us about them.
Yeah, you know, for the championship is just 3 points, but I'm very happy because it was hard to slide a lot on the rear, so it was very difficult. Control the bike, but at the end it was very funny with Marquez and Crutchlow, and I'm very happy for
yeah, scary, funny in equal measure. But it was brilliant. Valentino Rossi back on the podium again,
and this is in his home Grand Prix. Just brilliant from Cal Crutchlow, and these fans have put up with a lot of inclement
in front of the home fans. How does it compare?
Yeah, I put up that. It was a long race. I think we deserved that result here. I think the crowd deserved it. They've backed me through thick and thin here over the years. Most of the time I didn't expect to be on the podium. I expected to be in the top 6, so to come away in second place and battle with these guys over a full race distance at Silverstone is good. It'll be a great package this weekend, and we'll try again next week in Misano.
Thanks a lot, Cal. Congratulations.
Yeah, and he will. He's in the form of his
lap to risk their lives. It was just brilliant entertainment right from the word go. This was Cal Crutchlow up the inside of Marc Marquez.
Adrenaline must be coursing through your veins when you're doing this.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, they clipped. They clipped. Yeah, they definitely touched.
And this is champion. Well, today you are the Sunday champion. Suzuki's first win since 2007, and your first ever MotoGP victory. How does it feel?
It feels incredible. The team worked so much. I'm so grateful for them because I came to this weekend that I think I could win, you know, because I feel all through. I hope I can stay there and give to Suzuki more things like that.
Thanks a lot, Maverick. Congratulations.
As always, very calm, very measured.
A foot wrong. Absolutely brilliant from Maverick Vinales. You can see there, no surprise to see the hashtag, which I'm sure is trending all around the world now. Hashtag Top Gun Mac. Of course, he is named.
They took him on a plane, didn't they, last year?
Yeah, they did in Aragon. Yeah,
that scared him a lot more than ever riding a motorcycle.
Well, he was flying today, no doubt about it. Brilliant performance. Now, Valencia.
Congratulations to Maverick Vinales, congratulations to Suzuki, congratulations to MotoGP, to all the people throughout the world. That's part of an English weekend, part of racing at Silverstone. And this is at the height.
Maybe half a metre offline there, Andrea, you know, Nick. This is on board with the factory Ducati rider. Yeah, I think he was just in a fraction, wouldn't he?
He would have lapped it up.
You know what, Nick? I'm just thinking off the top of my head, and I'm pretty sure this must be right, as we get again confirmation of this is MotoGP.
Right, let's have a look. Think of Moto3. It must be.
Jack Miller's the only other rider that won in Moto3, and he didn't do Moto2, of course.
No, there we are. Again, history provided such amazing entertainment. And congratulations to Suzuki. It's a big step for them, a big financial step especially for their MotoGP World Championship. As always, Valentino always has to be reminded he's got on the podium because he's tall. But the race winner, Maverick Vinales.
Yeah, and was it coincidence that the three go...
Well, Suzuki couldn't have brought a better man in, couldn't they, to mastermind their return to Grand Prix racing. And 7, Chris Vermeulen, over 9 years ago.
Valentino Rossi takes yet another MotoGP podium. He's the first rider Grand Prix podium, and he's 181st in the Premier class. Remarkable.
Second place, Derek Redmond, the former British athlete in Coventry.
Yeah, 11th podium finish for Crutchlow.
But the race winner, history making once again. He's 21 years old. He brings success back. Suzuki back on the top step. Chris Vermeulen, I'm sure, is back in. I think the last Suzuki on the podium here at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Did a bit of celebrating tonight, but then the riders, like everybody else, got to make their way to the Adriatic coast of Italy. Late great Marco Simoncelli. The official name, TIM Grand Prix of San Marino and the Riviera. So, last helicopter shot of the Silverstone circuit, and here are the results. Convinced Valentino Rossi 3rd, Marc Marquez 4th, Danny Pedrosa 5, Andrea Dovizioso 6, Aleix Espargaro 7, to those on his MotoGP debut, an impressive 13th, Hector Barbera 14th, Tito Rabat 15th, Jack Miller and Scott Redding, who actually is Andrea Iannone, Stefan Bradl, Loris Baz and Pol Espargaro. Championship, well, a little bit of pressure from Maverick Vinales in their battle for 3rd. Danny Pedrosa down a place, Andrea Iannone remaining where he is, Dovizioso, Aleix Espargaro up, Scott Redding down, Danilo Petrucci up, Jack Miller down, Bradley Smith of course out of this race and definitely next week in Misano with that knee injury in places, Tito Rabat, Loris Baz and Michele Pirro. The Constructors' Championship, Honda lead the way. They go all the way to that last Grand Prix in Valencia in November. Teams Championship, Repsol Honda lead the way. Octo Pramac Ducati 6, Vintia Racer 7, LCR Honda 8. Don't forget Cal Crutchlow is their sole race. Independent Riders Championship, well, no great surprise I wouldn't think, but he's taken over at the front now. Cal Crutchlow, Miller, Smith and Bautista. Further down, Bradl, Rabat. Of course, as always, live back all the memories. It's a very good afternoon to you from England. Look forward to hearing you, seeing you in just 5 days' time when